doing that, if you don't mind.
Sounds great. And I'm going to record it so we have it. I wasn't able to upload Seth's into Workplace because of storage something or other. I need to figure it out. It's got the recording though, but we'll figure it out. But at least we've got the recording. We can do something with it if we want to. Or Seth, you're welcome to do something with it if you want to or whatever. So just let me know. But at least we've got the recording. Okay, cool. Well, as you know, my name's Katie. I'm a realtor in Northern Colorado, and I'm the co-founder of the Wonderland team, which is in 3 different states, in Colorado, South Carolina, and Oklahoma. I think we've got 23 agents on our team now. We're not a traditional team though, where we don't have like splits or anything like that. It's more of like sharing community, like communal agency, where we share all our resources, pile them together, and then basically all you'd want from a team without the splits. Then I'm also the co-chair for the Climate Action Network, and I'm on the Agent Advisory Council for the new Green Division, Sustainability Division, Sustainable Spaces, whatever we're calling it. Yes, John.
When you say a team without the splits, are these people in your organization?
Yeah, so most of them are, not all 23 of them. I have 7 in mine. But me and the other co-founder, they're in one of ours, and we are a self-organized team as far as EXP is concerned. We still have like a roster, but we don't have any like team agreement or anything like that. We're registered as a team with EXP, and then no additional splits if you're in our downline. I should specify if you're in our downline. We're not really advertising for agents that are not in our downline to join. Like if you're already in EXP, we have some that are in our team. Those guys are 5% up to $5,000 a year. So it's still like extremely nominal, but it goes into our kitty so that we can like fund team stuff if we need to. But otherwise we just like share our resources, pool them together. And then we do provide leads. And if you close a lead, then it's 50%, but only if you close a lead. It's more of like a referral fee kind of. But if you sell a house to your sister, there's no split. So yeah, it's unique. But it's kind of like everything you want from a team, but without having to like pay the crazy split or follow crazy rules or something like that. So, yeah. Let's see. And then I'm also president-elect for Northern Colorado Women's Council of Realtors. So I am addicted to adding things to my resume. I do too many things probably. I'm meeting with Skyrocketed next week to potentially get a VA to help me do stuff. Because I'm like, I need to make money doing all this stuff. And like I'm doing all this stuff and not making money from it. So I'm like, I need to like do more of that. You know what I mean? So yes. All right. So my goal for today, I hope you take one thing away from what I say, and you can apply it later, because we don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly. So like I've always said with, any sort of sustainability, anything, people get overwhelmed because it's so easy to feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. Because there's just so much to do, and you're like, well, nothing I do is going to even make a difference. And that's not true. And, I always say like, vote with your dollars, or, spend your money where it matters. And as an example, when I was 15, I became a vegetarian, and I'm 29 now. And so I've been a vegetarian for most of my life. And when I became vegetarian when I was 15, there was like hardly any, meat substitute options out there. There's Boca, and that was it. And Boca's terrible. And, so I wasn't really eating many meat substitutes. And since then, vegetarianism, veganism, plant-based diets have become much more popular. So now there's tons of options out there because people were saying, hey, I want these. And so companies were like, okay, we will make them if you buy them. And so vote with your dollars. So anyways, if you can do, we need millions of people doing it imperfectly. If you can take one thing away that I share today and apply that to your life, that makes a difference. So, moving on. So my story, back in November 2022, I was working on my YouTube channel. I have a travel YouTube channel, and I applied to get into this content creator retreat. I saw an ad for it on Instagram, and it was like these big YouTubers that were putting on this retreat in Bali and teaching you how to become a YouTuber. And I was like, yes, I'm applying. And so a couple thousand people applied, and I was one of the 10 that were accepted. Wow. And so, yeah, pretty cool. And so I took a break from real estate I was already kind of taking a light year that year anyways. So I just had a lot of like stuff going on. And I was actually questioning, honestly, if I wanted to get out of real estate because the passion was not there anymore. And I just like, if the passion's not there, then this is really hard business to be in, you know? So just in general, I was just like exploring all the things and whatever. So I went to Indonesia and I backpacked around there for a month. The retreat was only 2 weeks, but I backpacked around the rest of it. Some by myself, some with one of the girls that was on the retreat. And it was a lot of fun. I flew into Jakarta when I got there, which is the capital, and I stayed at this hotel that was in the middle of the city. I had a brand deal there. And so the manager, while I was there, was walking me around, giving me a tour. We were on the rooftop, which is where that photo was taken. And I was like, is there a fire nearby? And he was like, no. And I was like, well, the sky is so brown. And I was like, it looks like a wildfire because like I'm in Colorado. And so I'm used to wildfires and used to seeing that. He's like, no, it's just always like that. And I was like, oh my God, that is smog. That's not smoke. That is smog. And I've never seen smog that bad before ever in my life. And so I look up air quality levels in the world, and Jakarta's the worst. I didn't know that. It's literally the worst. So it's in the worst place in the world for air quality. And I was like, wow, why is this so bad? And I, driving to the hotel, like I said, the hotel was really nice. It's in the middle of the city. It's like this, tall hotel you can see around, whatever. But as you're getting there, you see trash everywhere and, you see piles of trash. And then you're like, there's no trash cans, though. You see people burning their trash. It's like interesting. So that makes sense why the pollution is so bad, because they're just burning their trash and all the chemicals in it rather than sending it to a trash and recycling place. Like then I realized they don't have that. And I was like, oh, that's a problem. So I kind of just put it off on them that it's like their country's problem or whatever, right? So then the trip continues. And a few days later, I start to break out really bad all over my face, like
Wow.
thick waist zone on my face. The worst acne I've ever had, like very painful, like cystic, just terrible within like days. And so I wasn't sure if it was the air quality or the water quality or something in the food or what, but it was definitely something there was making me break out. Like it felt like a toxic waste zone. And so I posted on my story and on Instagram, and one of my followers was like, well, the pollution's so bad because the US ships our trash over there, right? And I was like, no, I didn't know that. What are you talking about? And I thought it was kind of like propaganda, maybe almost, like somehow some stuff like that is like, what's the word? Blown out of proportion, or like, news headlines will make something sound worse than it actually is or something. No, I verified, it's accurate. So I started to do my research on that and realized that, the US does not have the, infrastructure to handle the waste and recycling that we produce. And instead of building the infrastructure and expanding our infrastructure to handle it all, it's cheaper to just ship it over to Southeast Asia. And there's been some laws put in place, so it's not quite as bad as it used to be. But I'm skipping ahead. It's not as bad as it used to be. But the damage has been done. It's still happening, just not quite as much as it was happening. Like I think China's put a law on it, and maybe one other country. And then I think like the US is kind of getting some pushback from people, obviously, on it. And there's actually a really good documentary that I should add to the slideshow. I just saw it on Netflix. It's called Plastic Island, and it's from it's in Indonesian. So it's literally Indonesian people that created it and are sharing their story on it. And it shares this exact same scenario that I just went through in Indonesia. And it was filmed in the same time I was there, I believe. So pretty interesting. So a few days later, I visited Diamond Beach. And so that's the picture on the left is what you saw on Instagram, and it looks beautiful. Blue water, coastline, all the things, right? But what like you're not seeing from the influencers that I was there with, because we're all on the beach taking photos and taking whatever for YouTube and Instagram and all that. What you didn't see was, that's what I remember is the picture on the right, was swimming in the ocean, taking those cute videos, but having trash bags wrap around my legs and realizing that like that's disgusting and the ocean is filled with trash and like I don't even want to swim in this because God knows what's touching my legs. Like you ever been swimming and you see or like a fish will swim by and like touch your leg and it's like the grossest thing you've ever experienced in your life, and like it's that but like trash everywhere. It was so gross. So yeah, and like that's kind of where my tone really started to shift in the trip, was just realizing that like, you know, it's everyone's dream to go backpack around Bali for a month. Like who doesn't want to go do that, right? But like then you're there and you're like, this is not what they're selling online. And that's when I started to question what I wanted my YouTube channel to be about, because I was like, I don't want to just do these like 10 things to pack for Bali videos when like this is the story that needs to be told. Like, don't just come to Bali and spread your trash everywhere. This is a problem. Fix your trash problem at home before you come visit here. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. And like the impact on travel and consumerism and the flashy influencer kind of stuff. Like I was just like, I really need to make sure that my platform is spreading the right message. And so then I haven't actually posted a video since I got back from Indonesia, because I've really been questioning like what I want my platform to be. And I want to make sure that when I come back to it, that I'm making the right videos, and that just hasn't happened yet. So I got back to the States. I started to research everything. So from where my trash goes to where my food comes from, the toxins in my products, and then how long it takes to decompose a plastic water bottle. And this stuff you guys probably already know, like, you know, plastic water bottle stuff. But in 2022, which is the year that I was in Indonesia, the US exported more than 950 million tons of plastic waste meant for recycling, and a significant portion of that ended up in Southeast Asia. So it's literally the year that I was there, 950 million tons. I was like, yep, can confirm, like it's a problem. And it takes 450 years for a plastic water bottle to decompose. You know, and we're all busy realtors, right? And like, it's so easy to just like be running behind, running late, running out your door. You're like, oh, I got to go to these showings. I'm just going to bring a water bottle and go grab it out of your fridge. And it's, you know, exactly. And, or, you know, like I was just at the regional rally yesterday, and one of the agents, who's a really successful agent, she was saying how she's got like, you know, her magic cooler in her back. So on hot days, like in the back of the car, and on hot days, she'll put ice in there with water and give it to her clients and stuff. And I'm like, that sounds great. That's a great touch. But I was like, more plastic water bottles. And I don't really know what the solution is for clients. Like maybe you give them reusable water bottles and you bring a jug of water. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is for that. I haven't figured that out yet. But that's what we're here to brainstorm about today. So yeah, I also learned that the emissions that my trip to Indonesia produced from my plane ride, which was 16 hours each way, by the way, is very long. I would have to plant 210 trees to offset that trip, which is a lot of trees. And, you know, we all just did taxes. And so we probably know approximately how many miles we drive every year. And I average around 20,000 every year, which is a lot. And that's 217 to 322 trees every year as a realtor, which is a lot of trees. I think it'd be really cool to somehow figure this out with the Agent Advisory Council. But if there's a way when we do our CDAs to have it in there where we can make a donation to something that offsets our emissions or something like that, like donates a portion of our commissions to go into that to offset our flights to EXPCon and our driving and our, you know, whatever. I don't know what that is, but that's another like idea that I have that we could brainstorm on. So I also learned that there's a fashion epidemic. The clothes that are produced in like Bangladesh, China, India, all those places, even Indonesia, brands like H&M, Zara, even, you know, stuff you buy on Amazon, really just most brands, they're being produced at way too high of a level. That I actually saw a stat the other day. What was that? It was like, there's enough clothes on this planet right now to clothe the next 4 generations. I think it was what it was. Like we have so many clothes because like fashion trends just cycle through so quickly, and people don't hold on to onto their clothes until they're like dead. They only hang on to them until the trend's gone. And so they're like, oh, well, I'll just donate it. And then it's like, well, where does it go after you donate it? Because you think these thrift stores have capacity to handle these bags and bags and bags that you bring in? Like, no, because do you also shop at thrift stores? Not many people actually shop at thrift stores. So how is that cycle continuing? So where does that stuff go? It goes to the landfill, and not always. I mean, they try and do their best, but like a lot of it ends up in the landfill. And like you can see the bottom picture there has a tag on it that says TJ Maxx, and that's a brand new clothing item that's in a landfill with a tag on it. And that's the top of the satellite picture from space, where you can see that landfill down in Chile. You can literally see it from space, full of clothes and a lot of new clothes. You're probably like, how does this apply to real estate, Katie? I just shared kind of my story. Do you have something to say?
I was going to say, it's time we as a society, we just get naked.
Right. I'm with you.
Get naked. You're a realtor. Get naked.
Is it the Emperor John has no clothes? Something like that? Is that how the saying goes?
I've heard that.
Yeah. I like it. So how does this apply to real estate? On my last presentation with YPN, which I have that recording too, if y'all want to watch that, I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. But this is when I started to talk about stuff you can do as a realtor to reduce your waste. But in this one, I'm going to talk more about finding your niche, which is kind of how I got involved in all of this. So yesterday, again, at the regional rally, I heard from Chanel Dupree, and she talked about, finding your target audience. Hey there. She talked about finding your target audience, creating your ideal client. And she says, if you're targeting everyone, you're targeting no one. Yes. And I was like, yep, that rings a bell. Yeah. Because I've been licensed for 7 years, and I haven't had a niche like at all until recently when I found this. And, it's really hard to like find business if you don't know where to go find the business, other than just like doing your normal like lead gen kind of stuff. But like, you're going to go so much farther if you have your targeted audience that you're going after to find the business. Does that make sense? So, I found this graphic online, and it was like, to find your niche, you have to find the middle ground between that which you love, that which the world needs, that which you can be paid for, and that which you are good at. And they all meet in the middle. And then that can be your niche. And that fits so well for this because it's all of the things. And, like, I've always been involved in nonprofit kind of stuff. Like, I was really involved in animal rescue for a while, and like, I'm very passionate about that. But like, the money's not there, and money's not everything, but like, you got to pay your bills, right? So like, I can't like make that my career and struggle. Like, I just couldn't. And so I had to find something else. And so that's when I got into real estate, because I was like, oh, well, if I'm in real estate, then I can make enough money to go, donate my time and money to animal rescue. And that was kind of my driver for a while. But then I realized, like, real estate's a tool to be able to do bigger things with it. It's not just about driving a Lamborghini and having a 100-foot yacht, or I don't even know, like, it's just completely out of I don't even know what those are. So, but there's so much more to it. You can do powerful things with your money. And that's what I like about real estate. So, anywho,
come to Florida.
Right. And then I'll learn what a 100-foot yacht is. I'm like, I don't even know.
I just drove by 3 Bentleys and 2 Rolls Royce on my way home.
That's crazy.
They're everywhere.
That's wild. I don't get it. My ex-boyfriend, he's from Miami, and he has a Jaguar. And I was like, why do you have a Jaguar? He's like, it's just normal here. I was like, I was like, you would look so weird if you drove that around here. He's like, well, I'm not bringing it there. He's like, the salt on the roads would kill it. I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, so finding my niche. I attended EXPCon. This last one is my first EXPCon, because my 1-year anniversary with EXP is coming up in less than 30 days. So I really haven't been with EXP for that long. I attended EXPCon, and that was the best. I've never been to a real estate conference before. If you haven't been to EXPCon, you really need to go to EXPCon this year. It is in Miami, so we can go see all the Jaguars and Porsches and Lamborghinis and whatever else there is out there. And while I was there, I attended the Girls with Grit session on niching down. So that's a picture of me and my friend that went to that one. We ironically both wore pink and black and didn't plan that. And Girls with Grit's colors are pink and black. And we're like, that was just so funny that we like did that. And if you're not familiar with Girls with Grit, it's a group within EXP that's meant for women. And, during that training, they were like, when we started Girls with Grit, people were like, you guys are so dumb to start a group that's eliminating 50% of agents. And, they're like, okay, they didn't care. They created a group that's for just women and talked about how successful they've become with just women and how, it's become a really big attraction tool for them, and they sell their products and they do all this stuff. They're making all this money from it, and it's women only. They do allow men. They have I went to the happy hour afterwards. It was kind of funny. Like, they do allow men in the group, and you have a shirt that says like security guard on it. It's pretty funny. But anyway, so I attended that niching down session. I loved it. I've been trying to find my niche, but I didn't have my niche. I didn't know what it should be. And then immediately after that niching down training, I went and attended Keith's training in the expo hall. And I was like, oh my God, I found my niche. It made perfect sense. Like, it was exactly like something I'm passionate about. I didn't really know that there was even like a division of real estate that this could exist in. And there really isn't yet either. Like, we're kind of starting it, which is cool. And I want to be a part of that. And so that's what I told Keith. And he was like so thrilled to have me be a part of it. And I told him kind of my background and how I have a lot of leadership experience and all that. And he was like, well, we definitely need you to be a part of this. Because, he knew that Alex was kind of on his way out, and, Keith's on his way out soon as well, because he's just been co-chair for a long time. So it's good to get some fresh faces in here. And so he's like, let's definitely, get you involved in this. And I was like, absolutely. I'm also in Colorado, which is where Keith is. So it made perfect sense. So since finding my niche, this is kind of what I've done. Obviously, this wasn't that long ago. So, I'm in the group with like the Agent Advisory Council and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm definitely the baby. Like, I don't know nearly as much as a lot of these people in the group, but like, I think that's part of in the beginning when I said, like, if you can take one thing away, like, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to try and make a difference. Even if it's a small difference, like, I'm still learning, and I'm going to continue learning, and I'm going to continue applying it and doing good things. And you don't have to be an expert to make a difference. And I guess that's kind of my point. So I'm continuing to educate myself on green real estate, learning everything I can. There's a lot to learn. None of us are experts, and I don't think you ever probably will be. I became co-chair of CAN, again, leadership. I've made a post this morning, I don't know if you saw it on social media, about how I keep signing up for leadership stuff. I'm like, why? But I really enjoy it, and I'm good at it. So I'm a member of AAC for Sustainability Division. And then more recently on a local level, I started connecting with green friendly builders and businesses in my area. I connected with a green home builder down in Denver that we're going to meet, and I'm going to kind of be on their marketing team a little bit, help them do that, and hopefully get some business from that. And then I met with a green lender who is going to connect me with another builder neighborhood that's going to be built that's doing like intentional community kind of stuff, which is really cool. And then that lender and I are going to start a green networking group full of businesses that are sustainability minded, and then hopefully build the client base from that based on referrals from those people that know more people that are interested in that. So on a local level, that's kind of what I'm doing. And then my next goal is attracting green real estate agents, and which is something I would love to brainstorm with you guys on, because agent attraction is a big part of my EXP goal. And like right now, I've got 7 on my downline and making like close to $1,000 a month, but I would love to make more than that. I would love to do agent attraction entirely and leadership entirely, and put real estate kind of on the back burner, like the production side of it. So that's kind of my like big picture goal with all of real estate. And if I can do that directly through attracting green agents, I would love that. So awesome. That is my presentation. Whoa.
Sorry.
What was that? So yeah, thank you for listening. Hopefully you learned something, or you didn't, or you just learned about me. I don't know, but yeah. Yes, John.
So I wrote down a bunch of notes here. Great stuff, by the way, to go from 0 to 60 in less than 12 months kind of thing. That's pretty awesome. And to be getting some rev share and 7 people and all that, those are fantastic things. So here in Florida, and I don't know if it's south where you are or whatever, but here in Florida, that green it's just not a thing, right? It's kind of weird. So I tend to just be a loud voice in a small bucket type of thing, but I can tell that that's changing and that's going to change, because the more I talk about it and more I integrate with my city, the more people that I meet that are green-ish. All right. But I've had trying to figure out this whole thing about meeting with green vendors, green builders, whatever. So there's builders, there's what else? Green.
Manufacturers, suppliers, vendors.
Yeah, there's modular home. Is that green? I think so. There's a couple of 3D printed companies here in Florida. I think that's green. Modular. What else did I say? There's a company that's doing something else. I'll share it to you with you later when I find their website again. But like this one's an hour away. This one's an hour and a half away. But when you think of building network with these green people, in lieu of what's happening with the NAR commission stuff going on, it almost sounds like a really, really interesting and powerful niche to truly go with these green builders, developers, whatever, and really go in with a presentation about, you are green, but what are, like your presentation you just did, scale it down to how you can help them from a marketing standpoint, to really promote their products and get paid for that. Because like you, Katie, I have done way too much free work in my career, way too much. I just vow not to do any more free work. It's no fun. But I think that whole connecting with green builders and stuff, there's a bigger conversation that could probably be had in one of our Wednesday things or something. Because I think it's a big opportunity that we brainstorm that opportunity. That gets you listings, it gets you in front of homes, people who need to sell their products. And I'm just kind of rambling now, but that's just kind of a green builder agent conversation that I would love to explore a little bit further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like it. And like my thought on that is like green builders, green businesses, whatever. It's like me as one human, it's hard to attract other people that are interested in this to like find clients, but like those potential clients are going to be attracted to like those bigger businesses because they just have a bigger presence. It's just a lot easier for them to find them. So if I can find them and they can find them, we're going to meet there. Right.
Yep.
So yeah, exactly.
Yep.
One thing I've done over the last year is think about kind of the golden egg, golden goose, where, golden egg, wonderful partner, great. Golden goose, a venue, a conference that gathers a whole bunch of, common-minded, mission-oriented type people. I haven't had the best luck figuring out what is the right pitch, if you will. Where there's a green conference, Central Massachusetts, the holistic living thing. They've been going on for 20 years, and when I've offered some sessions, they've been like, "No, we're not interested in that." So, curious if you guys have, if there's any thoughts you guys have of like, there's a green-oriented type conference. What would a compelling kind of value-add topic? I'm not sure. Curious if that's too vague or if anything comes to mind.
Is it green, like real estate specific conference, or is it just?
No, so this is just like a green living conference that gathers all sorts of types of vendors, people that are looking to live green, from their buildings to their health to kind of all over the place. And
oh my gosh. So here in Delray Beach, there is, like I said, there's a pretty strong green community. I know a couple women who started this thing. It's called Coco's Market. And at the first Sunday of every month, they were able to work with the city to get a space at our downtown. We have a little downtown park that you can rent for concerts and different things. And they got the approval to have a little outdoor fair where they got little vendors to show up. So now there's a lady that she's called the Refillery. So she got a company where all her products, like my wife and I have been doing this for years, but you go there to get your shampoo and whatever, and you use the same friggin' bottle. You don't change bottles and throw anything away. So
Nice.
she's got a whole stand about that. There's shoe people. There's a girl that's got a t-shirt company. Pardon my language. Her brand is called Fuck Plastics. And she's got the whole thing of all her bamboo shirts and everything. So anyway, they've been able to one by one, but now the first Sunday of every month, it is packed. I mean, packed with people coming. They've got live music. They've got, people playing bongo drums, just kind of like getting the earth vibe thing going. And so I don't know, but it's an idea.
And that's all those vendors are like sustainability minded.
Yeah, there's a company right down the street. They're called Zero Waste. There's some organic people, but they do products that are green. That's all the kind of the green genre, right? So from clothing to food to recycle to grow your own forest to, we have another nonprofit here they started in Delray Beach. Now they've gotten contracts with, I think, 2 or 3 other cities. They're called Community Greening. And they work now with the city of Delray Beach and the city of Boynton Beach to raise money to plant trees. So this Delray Beach has a goal of, I forgot the number. It's like 50,000 trees by the end of 2025 or 2026. So they've been a nonprofit and they have a contract with them. I now work with Community Greening. And what you were saying, for every sale now, I'm offering 10 trees on behalf of my customer's name, not from me, but for my customers. So they can now start getting trees in their yards and start sharing the news. But that's been pretty valuable.
Cool.
That greening company, is that national or just local?
It's local here, but I can see them expanding in the near future because they're doing very well.
Yeah. I mean, like, talk to them and be like, could this be potential for EXP too? Because that would be cool.
I could talk to them about that. Note.
Yeah. I would totally do that with my clients, like for a closing gift or an additional closing gift or something.
Yeah.
Offset what I'm doing.
I like that, John. I saw a permaculture video recently. I forgot which town or province in, I want to say it was India. Forest reforestation project, and instead of, I think it was India, because they focused, instead of like a Bill Gates, I'm going to acquire 1 billion acres and we're going to plant 1 billion trees. Instead, they supported a ton of small nurseries and then subsidized super cheap trees and native, good selection. And so for weddings, I guess Indians have very large weddings, 1,000+ people sometimes. And as a wedding gift, everybody would bring home 1 or more tree. And so instead of, there's like this one block that becomes green, you can see that from space. It's like, 1,000 people went back home with a native, thoughtful tree. And they planted the backyard or someplace. And is it, from a forestry perspective, is it like 100% optimized on contour, up? No, but you know what? Trees are getting in the ground. And when you just plant one tree, you kind of take care of it, as opposed to like, I spent a few weeks planting 1,000 trees and I hope it rains.
Yeah.
I'll water a couple of them. So I like that approach of, curious to hear if they are, where else they might be available. And hey, good reason to reach out to nurseries in my area and gauge their interest in something like this.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. What are the size of the trees? Like, or what's your cost of donation?
I just give them at first we were doing like 1% of my revenue, and that didn't really work because it was so sporadic. So now I'm giving them $250 a month. So that's, $3,000 a year. And around here, like tomorrow's a giveaway. Tomorrow I have a beach cleanup, and then I got to run over to the tree thing for the tree thing that's going on. Then I got to run to the holes. Delray Beach has a 9 till 6 tomorrow. All these presentations about sustainability from the city manager's guy. They're giving out bananas, mangoes, avocados, and then all sorts of other just native trees that are going on around here. So it's food plus just good native stuff. And I think they do it like once or twice a month. They'll have drive-ups to pick your own trees, which is awesome,
That's cool.
for free.
That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge.
Cool. I like it.
How about
With
Chantalise? Chantalise, does she have any thoughts on all this?
Chantalise, are you just listening or you want to contribute? We'd love to have you.
I'm just listening in. I came in late, so I'm just listening.
No, you're good. Are you an agent? Or are you staff? Where are you at?
I'm an agent with eXp Realty,
Yeah.
Awesome.
What state?
Georgia.
Georgia. Nice. John's in
Yes.
Florida. I'm in Colorado. Seth's in Massachusetts, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Chantalise.
Nice to meet you all as well.
You
Yeah,
bet.
Thank you.
Feel free to contribute or tell your story, whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, so when you were talking about the green like vendor event, I was like, interesting. I probably couldn't do that here until I make some more connections, I think. But like I have a friend who used to put on vendor events. Like, and so she's got the experience to do that. Cause like, that's not really something I would want to take on, like the licensing and everything. Like you have to get it approved with the city and all. I'm like, no, thanks. I got enough on my plate, but she knows how to do all that because she was doing it because she's really big on like local, like supporting local. And so she we're just with like local businesses. But I was like, I wonder if I could work with her to put one together that's like green based, and maybe not every week. That seems like a lot, but like maybe once a month or once a quarter or something. I don't know. I'm like, that would be good. I could have a booth and get to know people there and be like, I'm the host and I'm a green realtor and da 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 da. Interesting.
There's a lot of, I'm thinking about that right now for this cocoa market. Maybe I start doing that, say offer up, I'll be another vendor,
Exactly.
pitch in and pay you money, and I'll just be there as a green realtor and bring information about hers home. What's that called? Home
Energy. What's the R?
Home energy. I think that's great because you were asking what's a good thing. You know, maybe you give like at closing gifts. You could give somebody like a hers study on their house. You know what I mean? The blow studies that blow in or blow out the air.
Blower door test. Yeah.
Right. Blow. Yeah. I think that's cool stuff.
Yeah. I like that.
That's super valuable. Imagine that. So you as a green realtor, you go to all these builders, okay, then you go out to these hers and solars and all these vendors that surround our green thing. And let's say you have, you can make a connection of 20 people, 20 companies, 20 organizations, and then you can set up a stand at one of these things and you've got all the data, and now you become the go-to person because you're the only doggone realtor doing this in your neighborhood.
Literally.
And you get seen as this individual who is a master connector to the green world. And then they get to know you. Then they share, hey, this realtor, you know, Katie, she's awesome over there, Bob. She's doing this for me and da, da, da. I think that's just a massive opportunity.
I think that's so smart. I love that idea.
You know, it's just, it's going to take a little bit of effort. Well, it's going to take a lot of effort, but it's great work. And I think that if you put together like a 12-month plan on that, matter of fact, I'm going to do that. 12-month plan.
Action Foot Friday. I love it.
Action
love
Foot Friday. Yeah. Because I think you can squeeze that down like Elon says. If it takes 3 years, it should only take you 3 months. So you could go out there and start getting a list of, it'll take you one day to get like 20, not industries, but a builder and a appraiser and a, you know, whatever that is, and start connecting them and saying, hey, I'm so-and-so, I just want to meet you. And my goal is 3 months from now, I want to set up a tent and start promoting you guys. And I can become the spokesperson, whatever, sharing your information. And then you can help me grow my business. And when I grow my business, I'm going to give everybody a gift to your service.
Yeah. I love that. I think that's so smart.
That's
I have a friend around here who started the what does he call it? Bike mob is what he calls it, because he's into like biking. And so he started the bike mob, which is like a club of bikers, like bicyclists. And so he, at like tons of vendor events, he always puts up a booth for bike mob / realtor. And to talk to him about bike stuff. because they're bike people. And then he ends up talking about house stuff because he becomes friends with them and then invites them to the bike events. And they're like, hey, you're a realtor, right? And then he's like, yeah. And then like he's built this whole community and he's really successful about it. And so it's kind of like the same thing where if like, you know, you bring them for the green, you talk about the houses because everyone's going to need to buy or sell a house eventually, whether they use a green realtor or not.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of people out there that would prefer to use a green realtor, I bet, and they just don't know you exist. That's a good way to get your name out there.
So think about that one level forward. So if you're a luxury agent, okay, the luxury agents, they dress well, they drive a nice car, and they talk about luxury and how nice stuff is. Great. But not many, as we know, we have 480 or whatever members of CAN and only 12 show up, right?
If
So
that.
put that to the world now. And then there's us 4 in this call today. Last week there was 6 or 7. And there's just so many people that don't know, even us green people, we don't know anything.
Right.
But we have a desire to learn more about it. So if we can take that, man, I'm just, my head is spinning because it goes back to what you were saying earlier. If you're talking to everybody, you're not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
And niching down is so critical in real estate. I've been preaching it for 25 years when I built my companies in Costa Rica. I'm like, are you going to be a land agent? Are you going to be what are you going to do? And the ones who niche down were the successful ones. The other ones just kind of floundered.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I think people are afraid to niche down because they're like, well, I don't want people to not work with me because they think I only work in, green real estate or whatever. It's like, number one, they're not going to do that. Number two, if that's the case, like they're probably maybe not the people you want to work with anyways. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know. But
I gotta hop. I'm sorry.
You're
This
good?
is outstanding. Love the brainstorm and looking forward to
Awesome.
yet another Eco-Symposium.
Awesome. See ya.
Okay.
thanks, Seth. Take care.
But
Yeah.
I think people are afraid to niche down. And like, I was afraid for a long time, like, oh, I don't want to be so specific, especially something as specific as this, because it is kind of a controversial topic too. You're like, you don't want to piss off the wrong people, but like, I also don't really care. And like my whole, like, if it becomes controversial or whatever, it's like, I believe so wholeheartedly in this that I don't even care. It's not even a question. Like if someone tells me that's not real, I'm like, yes, it is. I saw it. Like, it's like, I know it's real. So like, if someone doesn't want to work with me because they don't, I'm like, then you're probably not my people anyways. Like we're probably not going to vibe that well anyways. So I'd rather go spend my time finding clients that I'll vibe with better, agents that I'll vibe with better, or whatever,
Absolutely. And Katie, it's interesting. I'm just thinking in my head, I know that Keith said that he wants to kind of step back from leadership of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been debating with myself, should I put my name in the hat or should I not put my name in the hat? And I think I'd like to put my name in the hat.
Mm-hmm. I put your name in the hat.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, because what's happened just in the last few weeks with this NAR thing and July issue, I've been racking my brain saying, okay, I've only been here for a couple of years, so I don't have a big network and sphere. So that's my mental block right now. I don't know that many people, but I got to break through that because I don't have a choice now.
Yeah.
And finally getting in, because my niche has been right here, Mr. Downtown Del Rey.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, do you own any other shirts? Like, I really don't even think you own other shirts.
I bought 22 of these ones, and that's all I wear.
Literally, I know. I've never seen a different shirt ever.
That's it. But to be known for something. So, but in light of this NAR thing, man, I really think that there's a lot of stuff here that can help new as well as existing agents, because your voice is going to have to be more authentic. It's going to have to be more transparent. Everything's going to have to be more of that. And if you found a niche in green, you can let that fly, man. You can just let it fly. And you're going to, I love it when I piss people off because I get to learn up front that we're just not going to do business together. Not a problem. So, and I think there's so many, we just went over these things, with the green, the tree stuff, the connecting with all the vendors and builders, and really get out there and start promoting. I think that's a clear path to becoming a listing specialist in this new world, because those people are going to, either they have the company and they are going to sell a container home and they'll say, I would like you to represent it because you're a green person, I like you, or they're going to tell their neighbors and people about you because you stand for something.
And you stand out amongst the others because like how many realtors are there out there? Like there's just too many really. And like they're all the same. They're either good or they're bad. And that's the difference between them. Otherwise they're all the same. So what makes you stand out, you know? Like I was saying yesterday, being in front of all the luxury agents that were talking on stage and being like icon agents, and like you can tell there's a clear, and not even just luxury, just the difference between an icon agent and a non-icon agent. It is such a clear distinction between the two, and you can feel that, right? And so like it's being different really does stand out. You got to be different.
Got to be different.
Yeah.
And authentic and passionate and transparent.
Yeah.
So, well, this was good.
Yeah, that was a good idea. I'm really actually loving that vendor event idea. I'm going to meet with my lender friend, the green lender, here shortly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask her about green home loan programs as well. That's my other thing I need to learn more about because I don't think there's very many out there. Do you know about any?
Not directly. I hear about it, but nothing specific. No.
Yeah, I'm going to ask her about that, and she's going to look into it and see too, because I think that would be good to promote as well. Like, is there programs out there that help with this?
Yeah.
And that's another value add. And also, you know, when we're really having to prove our value as buyers agents and stuff, like that's another thing to add to it.
Yep. Agree.
Cool. Jacob, are you into green real estate? Or are you just kind of like hanging out here learning? What's your like, where are you at?
Well, I took the class, I think, at EXPCon, I think it was. So it was something that I was interested in. Not very much around my area, and I haven't really tapped into it, but it's definitely something that's an interest.
Cool.
Can we ask you just a couple of questions, if that's okay?
Yes, sure.
So how long have you been an agent?
2 years. 2 years. Just turned 2 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Do you have a niche at all, or have you gotten to that point in your career yet, or no?
No. We train. I have a mastermind with the group that I'm on with frequently, and they push niches all the time. It's very important, but I haven't really been able to tap into it.
Yeah, who's your upline?
Terry Marie Gleaton.
Is it, what line is it? Like, what's the group?
The Wealthy Group.
Never heard of him. I was thinking maybe it was like Go or one of the Girls with Grit girls or not, but I don't know. Yeah, cool. Well, this whole like presentation, I've been doing this for 7 years, and I've just now found my niche in the last 6 months. Like,
Right.
And I'm going hard on it now, and like I think it's really important. And so, like, if sustainability is something that you're like passionate about, I think you could definitely dive more into it, or you know, whatever your passion is. But either way, you're always welcome to join us on our calls. We meet every Wednesday at 11 p.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Eastern. And then we do our Eco-Symposiums on Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're always welcome to join. And we want new faces. So we really do appreciate you being here. Because we're like, yes, new people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you a part of the EXP CAN group?
I'm not sure. I'm actually on the map for it, but I'm not for the, I don't even know. I don't know. I'm in the Wealthy group. I'm in the Workspace group. So I don't think I am in the CAN specifically, but I am on the map that you all created, I think, when I first began.
Well, here, okay. I just put in the chat, I just put the link to the EXP CAN group for you to take a look at and sign up if you like. And it's free. Yeah.
You be part of it. Stay in touch. We're on social media as well. I just started that. But yeah, it reminds me, I actually need to go in and figure out how to get access to all the map and stuff because
yeah.
Alex left abruptly, not his fault. And all his passwords and knowledge went with him.
That Airtable thing was like crazy. I'm like, oh my God.
I know. I mean, like he's really, really good at that. But I'm like taking it over from him, especially with no like, pass off. It was like, so I got to figure all that out. Because like if someone puts their stuff into the map right now, I can't even get in to do any of it. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
That's
so,
rough.
Got to figure it out, but I will. Well, cool. Well, thanks for coming today, guys. I'm glad you were here. Nice to meet you, Chantalise. Am I pronouncing that right, Chantalise?
It's Chantelis, but I'm so used to Chantalise because everyone calls it that way. So I answer to it.
Chantalise. Okay, I'll remember that from now on. Cool. Sounds good. Well, nice to meet you. And hopefully you come next week and we'll see you around. If you need anything, let us know.
Awesome. Thank you. It was nice meeting you all as well.
And have a happy Earth Day on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome.
All right. Well, good chatting, everybody. I'll see you next time.
See you later. Have a
Bye-bye.
good day.
Bye.